Hi, I'm Lisa Schur-Lambert, and I want to tell you about the Karma course that I'll be teaching this summer called Questionnaire Design. First, I'm a professor at Oklahoma State University in the management department, and I'm also the co-editor of Organizational Research Methods. And I'm really looking forward to this course. I love to teach it every year, but this is the first time we're going to be able to be back in person for quite a few years. And there are a lot of advantages to taking this course when it's in person. You get a chance to bring your problems and we can sit down and talk about them in a way that we typically can't when we're doing a course by Zoom. It also allows you to learn from the problems that other people are facing, and the exchange is much more involved, it's much more interactive, and it's a really fun way to do it. So let me tell you just a little bit about what this course is about. It's going to take us from the very beginning of thinking about how we're going to design our study. What kind of model are we choosing? What kind of variables do we want to make sure that we measure? Thinking about what our sampling requirements and so on. And planning that, but at the same time thinking about what kinds of tests are we going to need to pass in terms of construct validity once we get our data. Because it's much easier to think about what those construct validity tests are up front than to have the data and then realize, these are the standards we need to meet. I wish I'd have known that before. So we do a good deep dive into looking at construct validity. Now, we've all had exposure to many of the topics here, EFA and CFA and so on, but there's been a lot of really good papers, really good advancements that have come out in the last, 5, 6 years or so that are sort of evolving these practices a bit and changing a bit the standards that we need to meet. It's harder now than it used to be. So we will be looking at changes in what we expect to see, for example, just even when you're defining a construct. We'll look at some of the new requirements for reporting CFAs and the expectations for how good our models need to be. There are some updates to testing for discriminant validity, for example, and even reliability. Um, so we're going to look at all of those different areas and then come back to, okay, how can we take the variables that we want to measure, put them into a survey of some kind or some other kind of data collection instrument? What are the principles and practices that we can follow to make sure that we're going to get the highest quality data that we can? And there's a body of knowledge about this. There's a body of work that explains how people take surveys, which means when we understand that, then we can use that to help design the instruments that we have to collect our data. And so then we circle around to after we get the data. Okay, here are some things that we're going to think about in terms of cleaning it, how we can deal with information about missing data. Oh, and I forgot before that, even how we can deal with careless responders and how we can both detect them and help to prevent people who are less engaged in our data collection effort. How can we motivate them to give us the highest quality data that we can? So that's sort of a quick overview of a number of the different topics that we're going to cover. We're going to highlight, like I said, the newer, more evolving technologies for assessing construct validity and for managing our entire data collection effort. And you can bring your own problems. If you're thinking of planning a study or you're at the point where you're planning your dissertation and you're trying to figure out how you want to manage this whole process, it's a good time for you to take this course. And many of us at some point in our career find that we can't find a measure for the thing that we really want to study. This is good for you then. So bring that stuff with you and we'll make sure that we make progress on it so that you end up leaving the course with some much stronger, better ideas for how you want to proceed. So like I said, I have so much fun teaching this class. I really like it. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy, and I'm really glad that we can meet in person. And I hope to see you in June in Detroit.